Has your mom ever cut your hair?
No.
After the age of 25, both my mother's husband, and my sister have attempted at cutting my hair.
Hello and welcome to another episode of 7 Days Makes 1 Week. I'm Freddie P, back in the place to be. Immediately to my right is El Chapo, aka El Jefe, aka takes trips to Mexico every weekend. Had Zach and I confused as fuck as to what he was talking about. Mr. Dan Zaretsky. Behind the microphone with his Seth Rogen inspired early 2000s Justin Timberlake fro.
Oh, nice.
Producer Zach. I was gonna make up a fake last name. I was just gonna start making up fake last names for you, but then I couldn't think of a good one.
I like that idea. I do that with people in their middle names. Just throw out a random one.
What do you think mine is? What would mine be?
Ezekiel.
Fred Ezekiel Papernick.
And that's obviously Daniel's Jedediah Zaretsky.
Jebediah Zaretsky.
Jedediah. Double D.
Jesus.
What is your middle name?
Christian.
Christian? Patrick.
Addison.
Addison?
You're Addison Ray? Shit.
I did. But I would be looking at my crotch. Sorry.
Me too, buddy. Me too. Not sorry, though. Yeah, no, my name is Frederick Patrick Papernick. It's like a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Which is pretty dope.
That's his powerful name.
Powerful, yeah, sure. Have you guys seen the clips from that Drake interview with that super awkward girl? You know what I'm talking about? That white girl that's like, she got like the viral clip was her talking about her dad doing doors for Snoop Dogg, and the black guy like could not understand what the fuck she was talking about.
No, I've never seen that.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No clue.
I'll find it real quick.
And then she asked him at the very end, she's like, so can you get me a plane ticket home? And he was like, I guess so.
Drake or the other guy?
Drake.
Oh, I haven't seen that part.
Oh.
She got viral off this one clip, and then she has an interview with Drake where they're laying in bed, and like her whole shtick is that she just like keeps this like extremely
Awkward.
kind of awkward abrasiveness throughout the whole. Have you found it already?
Yeah, Bobby Altoff or Altoff, something British.
Bobby with a B with an I or what?
B-O-B-B-I, yeah.
No, she is.
Did y'all,
I mean, I feel like they both knew what was going on.
Oh, for sure.
Are you kicking me out?
No,
If
it's-
someone was like, "Oh, have you ever heard Kiki Do You Love Me" by like Tyga? You
Yeah,
would be like, you would fully be convinced.
absolutely.
There's no okay.
There's absolutely.
What's your favorite Tyga song?
Is he married to Kylie Jenner? Is that the guy that dated him? He dated
mean,
Kylie
like-
Jenner.
And we're gonna pray for her.
I don't know any other questions. Do
Okay.
you have any other questions for
Not
me?
really. Not really. It's probably best you skedaddle home to
Are
be
you
Mother of
gonna
the
buy me
Year,
a flight
right?
home?
It's just
favorite
awkward as
movie?
fuck. Like.
Someone's want it?
is she like hella
I like
autistic,
The Little
or is she
Mermaid.
just like joking and putting
I
on
wish-
stuff like that?
It's a little loud. I was gonna let's try and find the one that.
She just seems like she's on the spectrum for sure. Oh. You seen that clip of Drake picking up a bra at his concert?
What was it like growing up?
I would hope me.
The one with the big bra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
36G or double G or something like that.
36 double
Find
G.
this woman immediately.
Find this woman immediately. Yeah, I did see that. That was funny. What else you guys got going on lately?
Working a shit ton. That's it.
Yeah,
What about you?
just working and playing Diablo, man. Working and playing Diablo.
Nice.
Since we don't have a lot going on this week, you guys want to play a little Are You Garbage? I know we had teased it a little while ago, but now there's a list of questions here that I can ask you guys.
Hell yeah. I'm down.
Alright, ultimate question list here. Have you ever drank milk with dinner?
Yeah.
Every meal growing up till I was about 16, and then I don't really drink milk anymore.
Yeah, I drank. It was pretty much the same. I drank milk like 5 glasses a day back in the day when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. My mom used to put ice in it.
Really?
Apparently that's very American.
I love really cold milk, so I bet.
I've never seen ice in milk.
Well, it's called a milkshake, but it just hasn't been shooken yet.
Hasn't been blended up yet.
Fair enough. I never thought of it like
I'm
that.
just joking.
Have you ever owned a Scarface poster?
Nope.
No. I would.
You gonna answer any of these questions?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever. I've probably had chocolate milk with dinner, but I don't think I've ever had actual milk with dinner. I don't know what that says about me. Have I ever owned a Scarface poster? Kinda. It was a picture. It was a picture that was like a behind the scenes thing of the movie that my buddy just had randomly, and I was like, yeah, he just gave it to me. It was like, it wasn't like a picture of the movie. It was like a picture of them filming
Not the
movie.
classic Scarface one with the white and black or whatever.
No. Although when I was in high school, a girl, I have a picture of Kobe Bryant that she painted for me, and she did like the standard, like for one of her art projects, did the standard Scarface picture. And it was funny because I asked her to give it to me and she didn't. And then years later, she asked me, what'd you ever do with that Scarface picture? And I was like, the fuck you talking about? I asked you if I could have it and you said no. And she was like, oh, so what did I do with it? I was like, I don't fucking know. And yeah, I just got lost. Have you ever left a bad Yelp review?
Nah, I don't use Yelp.
I haven't left a bad Yelp review, but on like a 6 degrees of separation type of thing, I've definitely had words with like DoorDash and Skip the Dishes about the whole process. Because they apparently, like, no driver can find this place to the point where if I order Skip the Dishes, it'll say arriving in 5 minutes, and it will legitimately, no exaggeration, be 25 minutes later. I'm walking out the door to go meet the guy because he can't figure out how to get into this back alley. Because the one way there and everything.
Huh.
And then I complain about it, which is a little bit salty on my part. I know it's hard to get in here, but they're like, we'll give you $5 off. I'm like, I'm never ordering again. And then like 3 days later, it's like, oh, I guess I'll order some food.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, man, they're cunts sometimes. When they fuck up and then they don't even want to refund you.
But they blame each other. It's like, that's the driver. Then the driver's like, it was the
It
restaurant.
blames the
Then
restaurant, yeah.
like, it's the service. It's like this vicious cycle
It's
of
like,
fatness.
well, I don't care. I'm getting fucked. Someone's gotta compensate me.
And I'm not even getting dinner out of it, which is the
Yeah.
whole point.
Split this cost 3 ways. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. It's like I'll order something, the order never arrives. Even if they refund me, it's like, all right, now the restaurant's closed. I can't get my fucking food. Or like I already waited an hour. Now it's gonna take another hour for this fucking shit to get here. It's like, bruh. And then they refund you just the amount you paid, not the tax, and not the service fee, not the driver's tip. And I'm like, what the fuck? Cheap bastards.
Have you ever walked through a drive-thru?
Nah. I don't know. I think I'm too old for that. That's been like, they don't serve you.
They don't let you do it
ever
anymore,
Since I
yeah.
graduated high school, like, so. I don't think I even had that opportunity.
I've
if I
attempted
tried.
it and they didn't let me, so I just hopped in some random person's car. He just let me sit in the. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
That person's likely to get murdered. Let
No,
some random
very
motherfucker off
trusting.
in
He's
there
just saying
with
it's a trusting
Well, I was standing there with like a group of friends. Like I wasn't just some random dude. It was like after a bar or White Ave time, and I was like, "Man, they won't serve me. Let me hot in the back." And he was like, "Yeah, sure, dude." And I just
Yeah, psychopath
That's
stuff, friends.
rolled down the back window, and then as soon as we went out, I was like, "Thanks, man." Hopped out.
Took his food too. See ya.
Pussy. He just does me a solid. I just steal his food, call him a pussy.
Have a dab on your way out.
Have you ever been to a timeshare sales pitch?
I guess, but that's because my parents were at one, or my mom and Felix were at one. I mean, I wasn't there by my choice.
Under your own accord?
Yeah.
What about you, Zachary?
I was on a vacation, obviously.
Oddly enough, I actually was like proxy to one. When the only time I've been to Mexico at a resort, they had a timeshare booth set up, and they swindled my mom and her husband to go in and talk to them, and I was kind of there. And then about 5 minutes, I was like, "Okay, I'm going to the buffet. I'll see you later." So I was kind of part of it, but not really.
Pretty much same thing happened when Asha and I went in November. Like, as soon as you get there, they say you have to do something, and I was like, yo, it's 9 o'clock at night. I'm going to my fucking room. Like, get fucked. And, like, first thing in the morning, like 9 a.m., they're phoning me, oh, you got to do your welcome package. Come here. I'm like, all right. They're like, you get a free bottle, a free T-shirt, and a free bottle of tequila. I'm like, instantly told Ash, I'm like, you know that tequila is going to be, like, the pissest tequila you've ever fucking drank. Yeah, legitimately. It might actually be piss. And then we go to it, and we're like, all right, we'll sit through this. And after, you know, they walk you around the resort, and then they bring you to an office, and they start telling you how you can buy, like, a suite at the resort, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, no. And they're like, okay, well, you have to fill out this piece of paper. And then on the piece of paper, they were asking for, like, which credit card company we were with. And we were like, what? Like, we just told you we're not interested in purchasing. And they were like, oh, no, we just need to know which card you're with. And we were just like, I was done with it. And then I just, she knew I was done with it. And I was just waiting for her to be done with it. And then she turned to me and just like, she pretty much just turned and was like, yeah, green light. Like, be a fucking dickhead. And I was like, yeah, all right.
yeah.
Snatched the paper off the desk, ripped it, scratched our information off of it. I was like, yeah. Threw back on a piece of paper. I was like, all right, we're out. And they were like, you can't leave yet. I was like, or what?
I already paid for the.
Yeah, like, I'm here. Like, what's going to happen if I don't sit through the rest of this meeting? Then we just left. And then for about, like, 2 of the days, the guy that had to phone us, like the guy that tried to recruit us, gave us the stank eye. And then he came around. He was a nice guy after that. It's like, I get it, man. This is how you make your money. But, like, fuck you. I'm not interested.
Well, did you get like a massive discount for on your trip because of that? Like because of the timeshare thing that you're supposed to sit in? Or no? Because that's usually how it goes, right? It's like, hey, we got this vacation for you for like, 60% off if you come sit to this timeshare meeting.
It wasn't ahead of time. That like the timeshare meeting was for something. Like that would have been a future.
Like, I know I went to like a resort in Hawaii or something like that where like I got like a good deal, but they had to sit through the fucking like.
Oh yeah, my friend growing up, my friend Sean, his dad used to tell us about that. He would go on those kind of things to Mazatlan, and he's like, you just sit there for the 3 hours and just say no,
Yeah,
and then you leave.
get like 60% off on a bomb ass like resort vacation. Yeah. I don't know. The one I had to sit through was in Vegas. We just wanted these like show tickets for they're like $700 for the family, and we just had to sit through this fucking 2-hour presentation, and like that's where I was like
show up half cut.
privy to. Well, fuck, I was with my family, and I was. Was that 21 yet? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know.
Does anything in your home say live, laugh, love?
I guess, but I mean, it's not my.
Not
It's not
by
there
your
by my
doing?
choice. I didn't purchase it.
Nice toss.
No, nothing in my house does, but pardon me. There's definitely that in my mother and sister's house. And I'm like, you guys are fucking vanilla. They're like, what does that mean? I was like, my point exactly. But shout out to them. They're cool people. They just have dumb shit in their house.
Sounds like something I would say. That's why I laughed. No, they're nice people. They just got a bunch of dumb shit in their house. Have you ever had Mountain Dew in the last 365 days?
No.
At least once a week.
Zach with the double whammy. Have you ever or currently owned a paintball gun?
I just bought a second one too, so that's a triple whammy.
Has your mom ever cut your hair?
No.
After the age of 25, both my mother's husband, and my sister have attempted at cutting my hair. And that's all I'll say about that.
That's so funny because one of you guys answering these questions a lot differently than the other.
I've had fun, man.
Have you ever kept batteries in the fridge?
No.
No. Have you ever put ice in wine?
No, I don't drink wine.
Has anyone in your family ever owned a Dodge Neon?
Hell no.
Does a Chrysler Sebring convertible count? Because they're basically the same. Same level of like,
Michael Scott special.
Exactly, they're like the same level of.
Does anybody in your family have a flame tattoo?
No.
Have you ever been run over by a car? That's a wild question.
No.
Do appendages count?
I guess.
My foot has been.
My foot. Yeah, I guess my foot
Well,
has
yeah, I
been. I've been
guess,
hit by a car, but I was like a little kid and it wasn't very hard.
That
I think I
explains
was. I honestly think I was I think there might have been a child abduction ploy amidst. I was running home from my friend's house, and I was crossing a street, and I remember looking, man, and like, I don't know, I thought I had enough time, but the car like barely hit me. But then they were like, yeah, like, get in and we'll take you home. We'll take you home. And I was like, nah, I just ran home. Because it was like a block away. So I just ran home. Told my mom.
It's kind of spooky.
Isn't it? I was probably like 8.
Well, depends. We're in Canada, where people are genuinely nice out here, and it could have
I
been
think
just
if
a
I
good
remember, the
intention,
lady
but-
came to the door. I was like, yo, I'm sorry. Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah.
so she probably just meant good.
I should ask my mom if that's actually how that went down. Because I was like 8. Yeah.
I have a similar story, but in my adult life.
Really?
When I was dating my ex, I went to go pick us up McDonald's from the Oliver McDonald's here. And when I got there was like 3 scraggly-ish looking
Yeah.
normal guys there. And they said, hey man, we need help moving a couch. Do you think you could hop in with us and go help move the couch? And I was just like, yeah, you got a truck? They're like, yeah, we got a big truck out back. And I was like, okay, well, and I was texting, fucking assholes. I was texting.
I tried really hard.
I got it in the.
Well, I should
got
have given
it
you
in
an
there.
ashtray, to be honest.
It got in there.
But anyways, they asked me to help them move a couch in the McDonald's. I go outside after my ex-girlfriend said, do not help them move the couch. And they all got into a car. They didn't even have a truck. I don't think I explained that very good, but you know what I mean? They asked me to help them move something in the McDonald's. They said they had a truck. I go outside. There's no truck. They all get it, pile into a car. So,
Yeah,
like,
sounds like they just
potentially
wanted to rob you.
Rob me or fucking touch my butt or something.
Both.
Or both, yeah.
Or
Little,
both.
little
Hopefully
A,
not.
little a B. Yep.
I wonder what order you'd prefer that in. Robbed then touched or touched then robbed?
Well, someone's robbing you at the same time while the other person's
Yeah.
feeling you up.
Fair enough.
Efficiency, bro.
I don't think there is really a good way for that to go down. Have you or anybody you known ever hired a private investigator?
Nah, that's some psycho ex-girlfriend type shit. No.
Oh, not a chance. But I was just thinking about what you said. I think that's also like a very like entrepreneurial thing to spy on your opponents and shit too. I don't think it's just ex-girlfriends. You know what I mean? Like if you want to get the edge on like a rival or something, you could always dig up dirt. No, you know what I mean?
I'll go sit on their street myself in my own car at night.
Ever spark up a cigarette in a gym parking lot after a workout?
I've sparked up a cigarette in a gym parking lot, but definitely not after working.
I hate to say this, man. In my peak of smoking, I've taken a break from working out to go outside and have a cigarette and then go back in and continue to work out.
Was that pre or post cardio?
I don't even know. Cardio wasn't really getting done those days. Back in those days, there wasn't very
lifting.
much cardio. Soccer was the cardio. I was just there to lift, yeah. That's when I was going pretty hard, though. When I was, like, decently bigger.
Give me that container. Your couch is getting assaulted today, sir.
Okay, man. That couch has been beat up by more than just. And yeah, it's not a good couch.
Have you ever named your car?
No.
No?
Other people give my vehicles nicknames.
You're not answering these, Fred.
Oh, fuck. No, I've never named my car. I don't even remember a lot of the other ones I've asked. I don't have any family members with flame tattoos that I remember. I don't drink wine either. I've never driven a Dodge Neon. I did the car one. I did the smoke one.
How many paintball guns you own?
I've never owned a paintball gun.
That's not actually on there, is it?
Yeah,
How
I
does
swear
that
to
make
God.
someone garbage?
Because it's a garbage thing to do. I swear to God it's on there. I'll show Dan right now. Where is it?
Passes the phone to Dan. There's Sharpie on his iPhone screen.
Yes.
Wait, it's the top one right there. Have you ever owned a paintball gun?
There you go. So are you supposed to answer no to all these? If you answer yes, you're garbage.
No, I'm sure
or
there's a
what?
limit to of how many you're supposed to answer before you become garbage.
It's like a plus or a minus thing, you know what I mean? And it's not like they say garbage in like a negative connotation. Like it's the whole part of it. Like they say themselves that they're garbage people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
it's
it's just a
fun.
funny thing
You're
to
just
do.
like
yeah.
Hell yeah.
a waste, a first world like.
Yeah,
person, you know, just
exactly. Yeah, it just started when they were driving to gigs and they were bored and be like, I think the one they said that started is they were driving one day and the dude was just like, "Yo, man, you ever seen someone who had carpet in their bathroom?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, man, that's fucking garbage, dude."
Unless
And he's
they're, like,
"Are you-
90 and
are
they've had
you
it since, like,
fucking
the
trash?
60s?"
If you go to someone's house and they have carpet in their bathroom, they're trash, right? And it's like, oh yeah, that's just a trash person.
100%.
And then it just spiraled from there. You know what I
Unless
mean?
the carpet is embroidered over the toilet paper. You remember your grandmas all used to have those little, or at least mine did, like the toilet paper cover. If they had one, was like a hand knitted doily over top of it.
Yeah, I do kind of. My baba would have had something like that if I remember vaguely. Have you ever skied or snowboarded in jeans?
No, I ski in shorts, boys. I don't know.
Like, yeah.
I think that counts.
Yeah, that counts. Yes, shorts and jeans are the same in that context. Do you brush your teeth in the shower?
Hell no.
No. Once a week, like the dentist says.
Do you have any younger aunts or uncles or older nieces and nephews?
Hell no.
I don't, but that's a
That's a good
great
one, right?
question.
Have you ever maxed out a credit card you physically don't have yet?
No.
Is that even possible? I guess, did they send you the numbers first?
I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Have you ever had to wake your parents up for work?
These are starting to get trailer parky-ish.
Have you ever handed trash back through a drive-through window?
Yup.
Like, oh, yo, man, you mind throwing this out for me?
I've
Yep.
done
Yeah.
that. I'm even behind the counter at like a Safeway, so I was like, hey, I got this. Can you slap that in the old garbage for me, brother? And it's just a bunch of belly button lint. Not even
Have you ever bummed a cigarette off your mom or dad?
No.
Have I ever what?
Bummed a smoke off your mom or dad?
I used to steal little Colts mouths from Dave all
From
the time.
Dave?
But
Yeah.
neither of them smoke cigarettes, so.
Have you ever used a bungee cord indoors? Like keep a drawer closed.
She
or
went
something
out.
like that?
Or strap
Is
the
that-
bed sheets down.
No.
Oh shit, here's another chunk of them. Have you ever sung Happy Birthday to Jesus on Christmas?
Ironically,
No.
yes.
Wow.
Just as fun. Like,
Have you
just
ever attended a McDonald's birthday party?
as a child?
No.
As a child, I have, yeah.
No.
I did that.
Dude, as a child, McDonald's play places back in the day were absolutely fire, man.
Yo, it might even have been my birthday. Have you or your family ever been on a talk show or reality show? That's kind of a stretch. That's pretty tough.
No.
one. I mean, I used to be on the radio, but it's kind of different.
That was your job. That
Yeah,
wasn't
it
like
was-
you were being interviewed or participating in something. No. Never. They offered, like when we were emigrating, like exiting the country, there was like a German TV show that was looking for people like that, but they weren't paying enough for my mom to be like, that's worth the effort.
It's not worth it, yeah. Have you ever Googled how to make money?
No.
I don't think I have, but I could see myself doing that.
Have you ever had a family member you didn't know reach out to you via social media?
No.
I've had that.
Do tell.
My uncle, I have an uncle on my dad's side that he kind of had a couple marriages or whatever, and I never met that cousin. She was just like my grandma never took the picture off the wall. There was pictures of the whole fucking family, and then there was just one picture of a blonde girl, and I remember being like, "Oh, who the fuck is that?" And they said it was my cousin Felicity, and then probably like 10 years ago, I randomly just get a message from somebody on Facebook named Felicity. Well, I guess I shouldn't say her name or her Facebook name, but the last name wasn't our last name. And I was like, who the and she lives in New York. And I was like, who the fuck is this broad? And then it's like some blonde girl, 28 or something at the time. I was probably like 20 or 21. And she was like, hey, like, is your name like Fred Papernick? And like, it's on Facebook. You can clearly see it. I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, yeah, I think I'm your cousin. I'm like, okay. And she's like, you know, are these your parents' names? Is this your brother's name? Do you have cousins named this, and this? And I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, yeah, I'm like your Uncle Tim's daughter. But she like, it was funny. Like, she didn't refer to him as her dad. He was a sperm donor and shit like that. Like, she talked a bunch of shit about him. But yeah, she just, apparently she tried to look us all up on social media, and she was kind of like a partying girl, like by the, you know, she'd go to like clubs and shit like that. And she just looked at me and all my cousins and thought I was the one to reach out to. Yeah, the one.
Did you think it was a bot at first?
No, I didn't think it was a bot. I thought maybe it was like some sort of scam or something.
Identity theft scam.
Yeah, something like that.
Send me
yeah.
money. I never need of money.
Well, when someone like says, "Hey, are you?" and you're like, you answer hesitantly, and then they're like, "Are these your parents' names?" You're like, "Hey, wait, what? Like, is this your brother's name? Are these your cousin's name? Was your grandma named this?" I was like, "No, is your grandma named this?" But my grandma had died, so I was like, "Wait, what?" But I had to tell her grandma died. She was like, "Yeah, figured." But the weird thing though is she was like, I remember talking to my other cousins about this. She asked me, she was like, did it happen in like, she said like the year, and I was like, yeah, it happened in like December or October of that. I think it was December of that year. And she was like, I just like felt it. She said she just like felt like she just woke up one day and just like knew. I was like, that's fucked up. I don't know, maybe she Googled an obituary, who fucking knows, but she told me she just like felt it. She's like, from one day on I just kinda like figured like, yeah. It was weird. Anyway. Do you own a bowling ball?
No.
Do you own a police scanner?
No, but that sounds cool as hell.
Have you ever saved a Crown Royal bag?
Hell no.
I've never done that either. You ever collect knives or ninja stars?
Again, I would. I would definitely collect the ninja stars, but not the knives.
Have you ever been in a feud with a neighbor?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Do tell.
Oh, go ahead, Daniel.
People are garbage. And when people are garbage, you gotta just tell them.
I guess I kind of know about your neighbor.
Oh, that's not
feud,
the
yeah.
only one, but yeah, 100%, you know that one. But that guy was a complete piece of shit, man. Just jumping out of his fucking piece of shit truck with his, not his kids, but his girlfriend's kids, fucking drinking alcohol as he's exiting the truck, driving like shit, beating his fucking girl, throwing massive parties late at night and pissing off the whole apartment block, littering, and just being
littering
garbage.
and littering and
loitering. I don't know. Whoa.
Smoking the reefer.
No,
That's from Super Troopers.
okay. Well, they got mad at us smoking the reefer, so
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, "Well, you smoke meth, so get the fuck out of here."
Yep. This one I almost know that none of us have done, but I bet all three of us would do. Oh, sorry. Yeah, what's your neighbor beef story?
Oh, nothing crazy. Just the guy that currently lives to the north of me.
Yeah.
He's just loud as fuck, and all you hear is like Call of Duty sounds all night. And the only interaction we've ever really had was he was playing really loud for like 3 hours, and it was 2 a.m. You guys know I have to get up very early for work, so I went and knocked on the door, and nobody came to the door. So then I went back in here. He kept playing, and then finally I was like, "Fuck this!" So I hit the wall a couple times, and then he hit the wall back. I was like, "So you know I'm here." So I went back, knocked on the door again. He wouldn't come to the door. Then I come back in my house. I hear the door open and footsteps coming down the hallway, and I just waited and I opened the door. And he had a fucking label maker. It's on my fridge right there. He had a label maker thing that says, "If you don't, here's an idea, move." If I don't like it says right on there, "Here's an idea, move." And he was about to stick it on my door, but I opened the door. He's like, "I don't want any." I was like, "I got no beef with you, man. Just keep it fucking down." It's 2 in the morning. You look like you're over 35. You shouldn't be playing Halo or whatever you're playing at 3:30 in the morning. So that's basically it.
That's so funny, man, because of like how the exact same conversation could go two different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've even told you about this. I have a neighbor that I think he like scores movies or video games or something, because the sound isn't like, it'll be very repetitive. It's almost like he's trying to like sync up the sound of something, but it won't be like, you know, the Netflix like doo-doo-doo when you open it. It'll be like kind of sounds like that, or like a doo.
Or like that.
It won't be like
20th Century Fox, dun, 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 like kind of
something like that, kind of, but almost more like sound effecty than that, like an intro. But yeah, it would be like my girlfriend's friend crashed in there one night because my old roommate never said anything about it, and then she was like, "Yeah, you guys ever notice this guy like plays music and shit?" And I was like, "No, I never have." And then sometimes when I've crashed in there, or my girlfriend's crashed in there, we noticed it. And then there was that fire by my house like 2 months ago or whatever, like a bunch of grass next to my house lit on fire. And I know he has a dog, and I know he lives solo. So I just went and knocked on his door one day, and I was like, "Hey man, like," it's funny because he only opened his door about this far. And I was like, "Hey man, like I'm not trying to bother you or anything, but," and Dan knows this. Sometimes I'll say things and I'll say it in the weirdest way, and that's like not my intentions at all. So I was like, "Hey man, are you the only guy who lives here?" And he was like, "Yeah." Like, what a fucking weird question to ask, right? And I was like, "I only say that to say, like, you know about the fire that just happened, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Hey, well, if that ever happens again, I'm going to come to your door, knock on your door, and if you don't answer, I'm going to throw a fucking rock through your window and get your dog." And he opened his door all the way then. And he was like, yeah, man, like, for sure. Like, I appreciate that, blah, blah, blah. I was like, do the same for me. Like, my girl or me will probably be home, but try and knock on that door. And if you don't hear anything in a couple minutes, fucking put something through that glass window. I don't give a fuck. And then I was like, at the same time, man, like, I'm not trying to, like, beef or anything. Like, it's no problem, but, like, I know my girl's knocked on the, or no, she had told me she knocked on the wall, but I hadn't brought that up. I was like, you know, like, sometimes we sleep in the spare bedroom when it's hot and shit. You mind, like, I'm not telling you to don't do it, but you mind just, like, turning it down 1 or 2 when it gets past, like, 11:30, 12, and he's like, yeah, sorry about that. I thought I heard knocking, but I wasn't sure, and literally haven't heard, like, cool, man, thank you, appreciate it. Now when, like, he sees me outside with my dog, he'll bring his dog outside, and we'll just, like, shoot the shit for a couple minutes. It's, like, the complete opposite of what happened there.
Yeah, this guy's he's just a complete shut-in or whatever, so I haven't had too many, like, I don't even see him crossing in the hall. I see all my other neighbors. I have nice conversations with them and everything, but you don't even see this guy in the hallways or whatsoever. I think that he's just a weird person, but when he came in and I opened the door, and he was just like, I was like, I don't want any problems either, but just, like, keep this fucking
Yeah, dude, just be respectful.
and he still keeps it, it's pretty loud once in a while, and every once in a while I'll go knock on the door really hard again, and then it kind of, I think he knows that it's probably me or the other guy on the other side, because we've had conversations about it too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he plays games in his bedroom, which would be on my wall, and it's just like, and I'm just like, okay,
Explosions
God.
and shit.
Just either watch a movie with your headphones on or give it up.
Yeah, and turn it down a little. Yeah.
You guys should just buy the guy a headset or something, you know.
Well, I'm sure he
that
has
would be easier, like, you know. No, I know, but think about it. If he's still a prick after that, then he may as well, you know, set fire to his fucking place. But, you know, like, if you buy him, if you guys, both of you,
If our houses weren't
Split on a
connected,
$60
I'd think
headset?
about it. But if his house burns, my house is probably gonna burn.
what do you mean? If
too.
it comes from his apartment, he's gonna be liable for it. It's all good.
Insurance,
Yeah,
bro.
but again, my
get your
place
cat
was
out.
still. Well, that's the thing. I'm gone for 14, 15 hours a day.
Bro, if you're setting fire to his place, you're obviously gotta be here.
I'm not
No,
setting.
no,
I
it's
want to
just-
say this for the record. I'm not setting fire. The only thing I light up is candles, cigarettes, and that's it. Just joking. And weed, obviously.
Your brain, bro. You light up your brain.
Or order the guy a fucking anime body pillow. If he's such a loser, I'm sure he'll probably be quiet after 11.
I'm not
with that
spending
thing.
money on anybody.
Yeah, buy him a pocket pussy. He won't hear anything.
Can we get our 4 subscribers to start sending donations so we can buy this guy a pocket?
We'll get our first sponsor will be Fleshlight. We'll get your neighbor a pocket pussy.
But it's like a bootleg one. It's spelled with a PH.
Just fill it with razors.
the pocket pussy.
And it's literally a flashlight that looks like it's made out of skin. Like the complete, like it works as a flashlight.
So is that humans? Some questions
No,
are
I
better
didn't-
left unanswered.
I didn't mean real human skin. It looks like it, but it's a functioning flashlight. So like the polar opposite of what a flashlight actually is.
Yeah, it looks like a flashlight, but it's a pussy. But this one looks like a pussy, but it's a flashlight.
There you
What
go.
you're saying there. Yeah, I'm cool with all my neighbors. They all like Kobe, and like if they're out drinking or smoking or barbecuing, he'll run up to them and say what's up. There's one lady where the husband likes me and Kobe, and he talks to me and him all the time, but the wife, man, she's just fucking bitchy about it. She'll sit there on her iPad and like smoke a joint or a cigarette and like not even acknowledge us, which is fine, whatever. But their dogs will come out to like the communal area behind our condo, but she'll keep them on a leash, so it only goes within like fucking 5 feet of her patio, so all of that grass is dead. And then one day she was like I've never not picked up Kobe's shit on my property. It's been like 3 o'clock in the morning and minus 30, and I'm like, fuck. And I go out there and I fucking do it. Like one time Ash was like, I'll get it in the morning, and I was like, no, you're going out there right fucking now and picking it. Because what if someone sees you leave it there now and they don't see you go pick it up in the morning? Now that person just thinks the people with the French Bulldog don't pick up their dog shit.
Exactly.
So I'm like, there's no leaving it. There's no nothing. Where was it? I'll go fucking get it. So like, I'm like, fuck that. That's not happening. I'm picking it up every fucking time. So then this bitch who doesn't pick up after her dog shit, I think they make their son do it or something, but they'll leave it there for a while. But one day I was out there and this bitch had like, she has seen me pick it up every time, because sometimes he'll go to like that end and shit there. I always pick it up, and she like kind of like with an attitude, like a Karen voice almost, was like, hey, do you need a bag? And I was like, no, I always have a bag. And she's like, oh, okay, I'm just making sure that you actually always have a bag. And I'm like, okay. And I didn't say anything because I'm like, fuck it. But I'm on to be like, yo, I can literally see your dog shit right there. Like, I can see it right there. What the fuck are you talking about? But I was like, that would have been young Fred.
She sounds like she doesn't get pleased very often.
I'm not sure.
Sounds like a big old cunt.
She's a little bit cunty though. Her husband's a cool dude though.
Yeah, probably because he's fucking some other bitch.
Have you ever written your name in wet cement?
No.
Ground beef or hamburger meat? What's it called?
Ground beef.
Hamburger meat.
I'll leave you two to decide which one of those is classy
It's
and which one of those is
definitely
trashy.
obviously the one that I chose is not classy.
Have you ever owned a FBI female body inspector shirt?
No, but I've owned like close like equivalent values of other phrases. You know what I mean? Like, can't remember. There was one I bought in Quebec in grade 9 that was like, and I didn't even know what it really meant because I was a very late bloomer in that regards. But it was it said things to do with pussy, and then it was like a cat like licking and then shaving and then something else. But I thought it was very cool. But so I'm just saying I owned an equivalent type of shirt to that. So
One of my buddies has a shirt. It's just like a baby blue shirt, and then in black writing, it just says, "I shaved my balls for this," with a question mark.
that's a
on it.
classic. That's a
I
classic.
fucking love
That's
that.
like a
shit.
tuxedo T-shirt.
Yeah, a tuxedo T-shirt. Yeah. Have you ever had a trick voicemail like the hello?
No.
No, but I've had joke ones.
Like what?
Like I don't know if you guys know this song by Craig David. It's old, but he just at one point he goes, "Please leave a message after the tone," and that's what my voicemail was for a while. And I'm talking within the last 3 years. You listen to the song, you would have heard it. He's a British like R&B singer. You would have heard it, okay?
I know who Craig David is, but the only song that I know is, or the only song that I know it very well.
Can you fill me in? Or it's
7 Days remix with Nate Dogg and Mos
oh
Def.
no, what about "This Ain't Nothing But a Summer Jam"? You don't know that song?
I do know that
That's
song.
Craig. So same artist,
Okay.
different song.
I do know that song.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you ever heard 7 Days remix with
I
Mos
don't think
Def?
so.
You should check that out. It's
Add
a
it
great
to the old
song.
listy wisty.
Have you ever asked to change tables at a restaurant?
I have not, but people in my company have.
Exact same with him. I'm never gonna send food back, or if I'm seated somewhere. But
Exactly.
I've been around people that do it. It does make me a little bit uncomfortable.
100%. And then if something's so bad, I just don't go back to the restaurant. You know, I don't come. Like I said,
Yeah, 'cause you're almost
complain, I send nothing
embarrassed.
Back. Yeah. Well, yeah, but like even if I'm having a terrible time, I'm not gonna complain in the moment. I'm just never ever gonna show up again. I'm just like, you know.
What about you?
Change tables? I don't think so. Unless I like asked, like for some reason on the way, we're like, actually, you know what, we're gonna do the patio or something.
Oh yeah.
Maybe something
Well,
like
that's
that.
not
but-
changing the table. I think they mean like once you sat down and like
Order all your
have
food. They
menus
bring
and
it to like,
shit.
you know
No,
what?
no.
Now that you've brought our entrees, we actually like to go sit under the north wall.
Oh yeah, no. There's been times where and I don't even remember what the reason was, but there's been times where they're going to seat me, and I'm like, hey, can I actually go sit over there, like in
Oh,
the
that's
sun
chill.
or something like that? I don't remember for what reason I would have said that, but I've done that before. I've never sat
You're
down
not with-
and then been like, yeah, can I move? No, I've never done that.
Sat down with your food and everything, and be like,
Never.
we'd like to go sit in the East Wing. And they're like, man, this is a McDonald's.
Never. Even I've been at restaurants where they're like, hey man, if it's just like me and a buddy and we're going, or even me and a girl, and they're like, hey, you can sit at the bar until a table. And then if
do
my
that all the
food
time.
comes at the bar, and like, hey, do you want to move to a table? It's like, nah, I'm just gonna eat. Like, I'm cool.
I don't
give
mind
that
sitting
to
at the
somebody
bar.
else. I don't give a
Everything
shit.
tends to come quicker at the bar.
Yeah, they
anyways.
want to get you in and out.
Yeah.
They want to clear that. I'm like, yeah, doesn't bother me. Do you have a refrigerator? Have you ever had? I mean, none of us have garages, but do you ever have a refrigerator in the garage? That always sticks with me. My parents used to always have a refrigerator. So do you have like a basement fridge or a garage fridge? Yeah, we had a basement fridge, not in the garage.
Basement
but-
freezer.
like a deep freeze, the sideways one. Yeah, we had both a freezer
but
and
not
a fridge.
Dave had the deep freeze in the fridge full of Cold Smile. Or yeah, actually, he did keep his cigars in the freezer, which makes him garbage. But it was basically just full of giant vats of ranch dressing and Old Milwaukee, like the overflow.
Yeah, it was drinks for my parents. It was just, 'cause my dad drinks. Well, it used to be Diet Coke. Now it's Coke Zero or whatever. He drinks that like he'll wake up and have that for breakfast. Like, well, now he drinks palm juice for breakfast. But yeah, is it garbage to bring an open bag of snacks to a party? Like the bag of chips or whatever is already open when you walk
That's
in.
pretty fucking garbage.
I would debate and say if you bring it, like if it's a bag of chips that you plan on consuming yourself, but if it's something you plan on contributing to the party, it should probably not be open.
Well, what's even more garbage? Bringing a bag of chips to
Yeah,
a
and
party
not
that you
sharing.
intend to dome
Yeah.
yourself?
But what if you're walking in and you're eating you just went to Subway and got a 6-inch, it comes with a Lay's potato chip bag and a drink.
Okay, yeah, no, I think we're talking about a big bag.
Okay,
Yeah,
well then
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
no, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
acceptable thing is if it's like a bag full of things that are individually wrapped. If it's open and then it doesn't matter. You know, if I could bring this is a terrible example for a party, but like a bag of Werther's, like original candy.
If it was
all
just
individually
after
wrapped,
Halloween
right?
and it was a box
Yeah,
open of mini chocolate
Then
bars,
it's all good, right? But
because you can
like-
just pour that in a bowl.
Yeah, like the favorite
move on.
selection of chocolate bars, like the Nesta,
the
chocolate-
crunch,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
caramel, whatever. I guess you could, in theory, if no one really noticed, do that with chips too. Just go grab a bowl, fucking throw
Yeah,
them in there
but
real
like,
quick.
man,
That's still trash,
The
though,
person
yeah.
that would do that is probably bringing like a stale old bag that's been open for 3 weeks with no clip on it or nothing. You know, like
The flavor that nobody liked from the last party that they attended.
exactly.
that they weren't the host of, but they saw leftovers and they took it home.
Yeah. Speaking of leftovers, I ran through all the things that they had in the little comment section, but one of the ones I remember from the show is it trash to take leftovers home from a restaurant?
Fuck no.
I don't think
That's
so either, but a lot
beautiful.
of people on there think it is.
Listen, Olive Garden, you get bottomless salad and bread, right?
Yeah.
Go there, order your entree, fill up on the bread and salad, maybe have a couple bites of your pasta, and then you got a second meal later. It's fucking strategic. Dad must think it's garbage to bring leftovers.
Well, I mean, I'm a human waste bin, so I just finish my food. I would never ever have food to take home, but
Oh, I sometimes order food to take home, especially if we're working out of town.
yeah, well, that's different.
No, but I'll do that
Order
here,
something
too.
To take home, that's like ordering a takeout meal at the same time.
I guess.
You know? So like that's not.
That's true.
You know, you're not being like, hey, server, take my half-eaten plate and dump it into a container and bring
Well,
it back
they
to
now
me.
they bring you the container for you to dump it in yourself.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
of COVID, and then essentially COVID was just an excuse
I
for
never
the service
thought that was a
industry to
bad-
reduce their standards even more and make you do everything yourself. It's like, okay,
So do the people who think it's garbage expect you to consume the entire meal no matter how you feel, or to throw the rest of it away?
Or to just leave it, yeah.
That's fucking
but
stupid.
see, my grandparents,
That's wasteful.
my
I agree.
grandma would order like a full-on like a $60 dish, you know, like fucking like surf and turf, have 2 bites, not finish it, never take it home. And just like,
Well, that's frivolous, man.
That's just-
no offense to your G-mom, but that's a little frivolous.
yeah, bro, that's old rich people shit where they're just like, you know, snobby little fucking rich pricks.
Another thing that they talk about is it garbage to like split a check? Like if we all went out for us to eat, but it's like they have a little bit more money. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, when you're asking Bert Kreischer, like, well, yeah, Bert Kreischer could cover the bill when he goes out for everybody.
As
But,
long as you tell them that before they bring the check.
yeah,
Because it sucks when they bring the check and it's all together, and then like, actually, if we get it split, and at that point, it's like, I'll cover it, you guys can eat transfer me. 'Cause
Yeah,
then
I
you're just
agree.
making them do fucking
I fully
laps.
agree.
Yeah. Well, it's
That's
pretty
what
easy
we do.
nowadays. They all have digital POS
Most of the time, they even
systems, so,
just
yeah.
know. Yeah, most of the time they just split it.
Yeah, unless you look like you're on a date or like you're a big family, they're gonna automatically be like,
Yeah, even like I've double dated, and they're like, so you guys, and it's like, yeah, like they, it's most of the time it's not too hard to figure out.
yeah.
Another one from the question: if it was like a family member, like a close friend or something, and they were getting married, how much would you drop in the envelope?
I've been to one wedding in my life. I don't know, and that was
What?
for my homie.
You've been to a few. I know a few weddings for
I've
sure.
been to a
If it's
few,
a close friend, a friend like that I know pretty well that I would hang out with, I usually drop just like $100. Or does that seem low?
Maybe.
I'm waiting for him to.
And then if it was a family member, like I bartended at my cousin's wedding a couple years ago, and I made like $700 in tips,
Sick.
but I gave it all to them.
Oh, okay.
So that, you know what I mean? But if it's at the end of the day, I know that technically you're paying for your plate of food and vice, like but I think $100 for a friend, for one person going, I think is a pretty reasonable amount. That's still a brown bill.
And it all like depends. I think it really depends on the relationship
That's
and
right.
and how flush you are. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go broke.
If it's my
Like-
best friend, the guy that was on the podcast with you, John, this tall skinny guy, I'm probably
I
gonna
wasn't
drop-
here.
Oh, I guess it would have been you.
You,
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
I think I
I'm-
met him though. He like chilled
Yeah.
one day when we were. Yeah.
Yeah, I would obviously drop a lot more. I've known that kid since I was 6 years old. But if it's just a friend, like if I was going to one of your weddings, I'd probably give you $100, maybe 150, depending on how you talked to me earlier that week. I'm just joking, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, I think like for someone in our situations, financially and where we are in our lives, like $100 to $200 is pretty legit. I think for some of, like, most of the weddings I've been to, well, all of the weddings I've been to except for one have been, like, one of them was my buddy Jordan. I'm pretty sure I fucked up and didn't give him anything and had to fucking give it to him after. And I think I gave him like $100, or me and Josh put some money together and gave it to him. I don't even remember. But my cousins and stuff, I was like young. I was under 18, so I didn't even give them anything.
You're part of your parents' gift.
Yeah, exactly. And whatever my parents gave, which I'm sure was good, because like my dad's two, if not all three of their godfathers and shit like that. So I'm sure that was fine. I'm pretty sure one of the weddings, I'd be, because Asha covered it, and then I think I paid her back for half of it, but I don't remember. One of the weddings that the dude ended up being on my soccer team, we went to like 2 weddings in 2 weeks. And that guy, I bet, got not as much as the other one, because the other one's like her best friend. So I'm imagining that would have been a little bit. Yeah.
And it's different if you're going with 2 people versus, like, I usually go solo, right?
Yeah.
If you're going
2
with
people's different because it's 2 meals.
And then it's also like you can each drop $100, and then it becomes 200. But I think just one person going, I think $100 is probably pretty reasonable.
Fuck, there was another part of that, and I was just thinking about it. I can't remember. Oh well. One of somebody that I know, they like literally made a log after their wedding of the amounts that everyone gave them, and then when they get married, they're gonna give that same amount back. You think that's classy?
I was gonna say, how does that make you feel?
I don't know.
I feel on one end, to be devil's advocate, that's a very smart and strategic decision, but I think it's very cold and emotionless,
Like,
or
very emotionless.
yeah,
very
like it's all-
calculated.
exactly. I get
robotic,
the
emotionless.
business part of
I
it.
get that.
Fucking Germany over here, efficiency was like, that's the best way to do it. What the
Well,
fuck?
I mean, that way you equal out. That way there's nobody's gaining or losing. In that
And when you say it
relationship.
like that, it does really make
I'm
sense.
saying on the one
And that's-
hand,
obviously they value that relationship that way. It's not like they started. It's not like they gave like. It's not like they're out giving people money and then making a spreadsheet of how much they gave versus how much they're getting back. It's the other way around, right? It's just like how much they got given. So the other people initiated that spreadsheet, right? Like it was what the other people brought to them, right? It'd be different
Yeah.
if like they were like, okay, I'm paying these people, and then I'm gonna see how much they give me afterwards for my wedding, right? That'd be different. That's like dickish, right?
Kind of petty, yeah.
Yeah, but like if they're just doing what they received, that way they're making sure they're not undervaluing anybody. You know, they're not trying to. You could argue that they're trying not to underpay somebody who was like good to them or something like that, right?
But,
like,
I mean-
argue for the good
As our episode a few weeks was called The Petty King, a.k.a.
Fred Papernick.
I can be. If...
I only called you that for the title because you called yourself it in the thing.
I
It wasn't me calling you that.
He's not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, it's all
Good
good. I know I can be petty. I'm well aware of that. I'm well aware that I can be the petty king. I'm also... Hey, what happened when our buddy's house got robbed?
Yeah, flip side.
I fucking pulled all the homies together, reimbursed them real quick, not
Yin
even
and
like
yang.
48 hours.
No, it wasn't. Yin and yang, man.
But I can
Balance.
also be fucking petty.
That's fine. You earned it by doing the nice things.
Our other friend, the story I was talking about on our way in,
Yeah.
I fucking called him out on something that didn't even really involve me.
Yeah.
Petty king. It is what it is. You have to take that when you become friends with me. You have to understand that I'll be there to ride for you, but I'm going to call you on your
Yeah,
bullshit.
it's almost like you're like that moral arbiter type of thing. Like,
But
if
I
you see
appreciate it when
something-
people call me on their bullshit too.
Yeah.
Like,
holding people accountable is very important in, I think, friendship too.
That's what.
'Cause
That's
if you're letting
responsible
everyone,
friendship.
yeah, if you're
Yeah.
letting people slide all the time, then it's just like,
but I don't want people to let me slide either. Like if you're someone who I can tell that like you're not gonna hold me accountable, then I don't really value your friendship. But, like for different reasons, I guess. If I want to go get fucking wasted, then like yeah, I guess I'll give you a call. I'm not gonna be like, hey Dan, I'm in the ruts right now, man. Want to come out and make a bunch of terrible decisions with me and get fucked up? Dan's gonna be like, yeah, I don't know if that's the best thing for you to do, bro. You want to come over here and like get high with me for a little while and talk about this? And I'd be like, yeah, you're right. I'll be over. And I appreciate that friendship. You know what I mean? As opposed to like, don't get me wrong. If there was a time and a place, Dan's like, yeah, okay, let's go get fucked up. But
You know, if you want to celebrate, I'd be like,
Yeah,
I'd be
it's
more
different,
inclined to
yeah.
let you get fucked up rather than like I'm having a shitty time. Let's
or
get
you know,
fucked
if
up.
like someone's family member died or something, it's like, yo, after we're talking about this, we're drinking. It's like, yeah, all right, man.
Yeah, that's a celebration of life. It's still
Yeah.
a celebration.
there's a time and a place to
time
tie
and a
one
place.
on, to tie
Yeah.
one on and
Yeah.
kill a bottle with a buddy or something.
It's like it's the
Yeah.
attitude you go into that with that matters. It's the mindset, you know. Like I said, if you do it for depressed reasons, it's not a good idea. If you're doing it to celebrate or just like blow off some steam,
That's
okay,
different,
as long as
yeah.
it's not every single fucking day.
Yeah, I'll watch
Consecutively.
after you as you blow off some steam, but I'm not gonna babysit you drinking your sorrows away.
And nor am I gonna watch you or let you fucking ruin your life without at least trying to intervene. You know, like,
Facts. And some people you gotta cut off, man, because you try to intervene and
yeah, then
They're not
they just
ready
become
for
a
an
negative drain
intervention.
on you, and
Yeah,
you
man.
don't need that shit.
you gotta go.
Or they're just beyond it. Like they're so far down that no matter what you can't really pull them
You
back
can't even
out.
do anything.
Yep.
Whatever. I mean, this is even kind of personal, but I hate to say it. My mom does. I don't even really know if I should say this. Whatever. A family member like upset my mom the other day because they do yoga together, and like you could just tell like the family member was like very drunk or on drugs or something, man. Like after like 15, 20 minutes, my mom was like, "Yo, I'm not doing this anymore," and like ended the Zoom and shit because like. So, I'm not gonna zoom through when you can't eat. Like, I'm telling you to put your right arm up, and you're like, I am, and it's like, yo, I can see you. Like, I know you're not, and like, I could tell it fucked up my mom, and it like made her like kind of emotional and shit. But it's like, man, I can try and talk to her, but she's fucking 10, 15 years older than me. Like, what am I gonna say to her? She ain't gonna fucking listen to me, but. Sometimes you gotta let people make their own decisions, I guess. But I appreciate the people that'll attempt to not let me make those decisions. Anyway, brought up this little rant, the Petty King. If though you got married, like, let's just say this is kind of few hypotheticals, but let's just say you know the person in your life. Like, I'll just use you and your friend. What was his name again? John. So you and John, let's just say you're both like around the same places in life. And I'm sure you guys aren't, but let's just say you both like, get married, have kids, have reasonable jobs, blah, 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 earn moderate incomes, blah, blah, blah. And it's his wedding and you give him like $500, let's just say. And then like 6 months later, you meet a girl, 2 months later, you're getting married. And he's like financially, he's going on vacations every year with his family, blah, blah, blah. And he gives you like $200. You're going to feel a little bit of a way. You're going to be like, bro, the fuck? Like,
I think at first I'd probably be a little cheese, but then I'd realize that's our just because I've known him for so long. Like there'll be a couple months where I'm paying for meals. I think everything usually equals out eventually, whether it's through like everything comes full circle. So I think if he maybe gave you 200, then I'll probably get it back in some form or another over the years that we're friends. Maybe he buys a meal one time. You know what I mean? I think I would be cheesed at first, but I think it all balances out at the end of the day.
Yeah, and if after all these years of friendship, if I let $150 ruin it, that'd be like I'd feel like an idiot over like just merely $150. But like if it was like you gifted them $5,000 and they gift you $200 back, I feel some type of way. Like that'd be a little different, right? But like, or if like you've been there to help them out at some serious point in the past, and they kind of owe you a favor, and they, you've never cashed in on that favor, and then they not short pay you, but they kind of like stiff you on that. I'd be like, bruh, like I'd be kind of cheesed, but I don't know. Over $150, like that's not a big fucking deal. Yeah, in the moment I'd probably be like, okay, I'm gonna make a mental note of that, but I'm not gonna let that fuck up the relationship.
I also think that you'd be counting probably so much, like from all the weddings I've been at with anywhere from 50 to 200, 300 people. Like you're probably getting a lot of money to get fucking squirrely over your a couple $100 from one person, right? Yeah. Not that I'm close to getting married at all and would know how that works, but I feel like the amount of money or the amount of people that usually come and what you'd probably bring in, I think that just to get a little bit butthurt over a couple. But if it's the specific person you're getting annoyed about because it is that person, then that makes sense.
Yeah, or if they're like, or if someone's at your wedding and they're like, being a fool or pissing other people off or.
Oh yeah, that's different. I just kick them out.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. But on top of getting stiffed, I'd be like, that's an extra,
Yeah.
The cherry on top.
Whatever, about like, there was like, what was it, $300 or $400 that almost ruined a friendship for me. Where I was like, yo.
But that was principle because the $300 to $400 was the part of a startup investment to help somebody get going to allow them to make like. You were the initial
gift.
snowball.
That wasn't the gift.
That turned into this massive fucking avalanche, right? Like
it wasn't the gift.
Exactly, it was a business transaction where there was clear guidelines to how this was going to go down, and then somebody broke that agreement. So that's different.
Yeah.
It's not a gift. That's not
a congratulations.
Gesture.
Here you
that
go.
That wasn't. That was like, okay, this is a business transaction. These are the terms of the agreement. Da 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 da. And then the other person decided not to uphold those terms. So
yeah.
you know.
When
It'd
you're
be different if
reading
he had
over there.
asked you differently. If he'd asked you, be like, yo, can you borrow me this? And I'll pay you back in this times 2 or whatever, and that'd be your thing. But no, your agreement was,
Different.
yeah, this is part of this business, startup, and I'm going to be part of this business forever.
Yeah. What are you reading over there?
I was just reading some hypothetical questions, like not would you rather's, but just like hypothetical ones that potentially I could pose you fellas.
One day we should, like, read through some of the am I the asshole, like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
scenarios and decide.
I'll
On
be down.
Reddit, am
I'll
I
be
the
down.
asshole? Fuck it, do it real quick. Just Google Reddit, am I the asshole, and look over the first 3 or 4. We'll do it more in depth another time, but
Yeah. There's some good ones. Some ridiculous stories where you're like, what the fuck?
some I question if they're true, but
But not really, bro. It was like, what, 7-something billion people in the world? I'm sure it's true somewhere. Even
Yeah.
if it's not true for that person, that scenario somehow existed at some point for somebody.
Okay. Am I the asshole for paying for a lounge at an airport during a long layover? I'm traveling with 5 friends and now we're traveling cheap. I'm traveling with 5 friends now and we are traveling cheap. However, we had one long layover in an airport with a great VIP lounge. The thing about these lounges is that they have free food and liquor and comfortable chairs and shower facilities. I told my friends what I was about and they all said that they didn't want to waste money. So I went to the lounge by myself. I had some snacks, a few drinks, a quick nap, a long hot shower, and then I caught up with my friends at the gate. My phone was fully charged, I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and a little drunk. When we started talking, they were bitching about the cost of everything at the airport. They said why I looked so pleased with myself. I told them about my stay in the lounge. 2 of them got visibly angry. They said I was an asshole for not telling them everything there was in the lounge. They had actually spent more on food and drinks than I had. Plus, I got to nap in a comfy chair. I said that lounges aren't a secret and that the internet exists. They could have looked up the same information I did.
To a degree. Like, I mean, I don't think that person's an asshole unless they, like, if you guys all agree to do super cheap travel and you're all going to stick it through thick or thin, through every shitty motel / hostel you're staying in, and then, you know, but, like, if the one guy makes considerably more than everybody else, and then uses that to go stay in this private lounge while everyone else is suffering outside. But if they were going to spend money at the airport anyways on food and shit, then they're obviously willing to spend money. They should have just bought the fucking lounge. Like, I don't know who the fuck wouldn't know that shit. Like there's travel videos on YouTube all the time that pop up on everyone's fucking recommended. Like, if you've never watched one of those by accident at 2 in the morning because you're bored, then, like,
what are you doing with your life?
Yeah, so, like, I don't know. I don't think that guy's an asshole. Like, he just took care of an airport hack like a man.
I think there's ways that could have gone down that would make that guy an asshole, but I don't think what he did makes him an asshole.
Yeah.
How they said at the end, they're like, oh, why didn't you tell us? It's like, yo, it's not necessarily my responsibility to be like, I'm going over here because it had, like, the guy was probably like, yeah, I'm going to spend I've never done the lounge. Apparently when I go to Europe this next time, I'm going to do the lounge because we had enough points, so I can catch you guys back in a month or 2. But I don't know how much the lounge costs. But if he's like, hey man, it's $100 and I'm gonna go in this lounge, and that was it, and they were like, oh, okay, like that's kind of on you. Be like, well, why? Like, what are you? Why is the reason? What justifies you in your head to go spend that $100?
And, like, there's no, like, time specified of how long the layover really
That's
is.
another thing. When
is
you
it, like,
were
6
just saying,
hours or 16 hours? You know, that makes a big difference.
and what you were just saying is like the whole group mentality. Like, hypothetically, say it's me, you, Dre, and Din, and we're like, we're gonna go to fucking, I'd say Germany, but you would know people there. We're gonna go to fucking whatever, fucking Mexico, and we're gonna hostel it, blah 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 blah.
To death.
Yeah,
Next
but you know what I
hostel.
mean.
No, I know.
If we're in Mexico, and like we're there for 2 weeks, and on day 10, I'm like, hey man, I know none of you guys can afford this, but fuck it, I'm going to get a hotel for the night at a resort. Like, peace. That's dick moves. You're fucking up the vibes. You're fucking up the trip. At the airport on the way home, it's like, okay, I could literally sit, like, we're not doing anything. No memories are being made right now. No good time. Like, okay, there might be one good time.
If Dre's
one
coming, there
inside
might be some
joke.
memories being made in the
You know what I mean? But you understand what I'm saying. Like, I'm not fucking up the trip, taking this 6-hour layover away from you guys. We're all going to be laying here sleeping anyway. Like, one guy's going to be watching our shit while they, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, there's ways you could, like, outspend your friends on a trip that would make you an asshole. But that situation, fuck no.
Wasn't one of them, especially if you guys are going to go spend money on food and drink in the airport anyways. May as well fucking,
Man,
pay
on the
for
way back
lounge
from
and-
Mexico, in the Cancun airport, I'm pretty sure it was.
Wait, your Mexico or Dan's Mexico?
My Mexico.
Okay.
The real Mexico. El Chapo, Mexico.
Yeah.
Not the AKA Mexico, the actual Mexico. But there was like a Guy Fieri restaurant in the airport. Ash and I were like, we know it was going to be overpriced. One, it's in an airport. Two, it's a Guy Fieri restaurant. But we're like, fuck it. Vacation. We still have some money left. Let's fucking go do it. And it was. Everything was like $26 for a burger and shit like that. So like, you have to know you're going to be spending money in the airport. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's something you have to budget for when you're doing your trip budget. It's like I have traveling expenses to get to and to get from my actual destination, and that involves food.
And if your budget doesn't, meet the plans that you have, then you have to plan around that. And like, you can eat a massive ass meal right before you leave home, technically, right? Like, there's ways to fucking avoid having to use
Or you get
services at the airport.
You get $50 off your flight because you help them pump the gas in the plane. Like you sweep the floors of the aisles before it melts.
But like, there's definitely ways to hack.
If you all agreed to go on a cheap trip, that's one thing. But being like the person being cheap on a trip is also a fucking buzzkill. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to count pockets and everyone has their own budgets and stuff like that. But like the bachelor party I went to in Montreal, we were all on like decent budgets. We weren't balling out by any means. But I remember the one guy was like almost arguing with the staff at A&W at like 1:30 in the morning, where we're all half cut over like $3, to the point where Josh and I are like, bro, here's $5.
Yeah.
Tell the people to keep the $2 just for this fucking inconvenience. Like, fuck off already.
Exactly.
Man. Like, we're talking about $3 here on a fucking bachelor party. We just spent hundreds at the strip club. Like, what are we doing here? Okay, I get you got some buyer's remorse because you just spent all that money at the strip club, but like, we're talking about $2 on a Buddy Burger here, bro. Yeah. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? So, like, that can be annoying too, but it is what it is. To be honest, what I'm doing in Europe right now, am I the asshole? I could have been the asshole in some people's eyes. I'm going, so I don't really want to say dates and shit because I don't like traveling with being out of the country and dates and shit, but I'm going to Paris because it's the cheapest place to fly to in Europe because there was riots like a week ago, which I think still might even be low-key going on, but whatever.
They're going on all the time. French people always complain about something, bro.
So we're going to go to Paris for pretty much a night and then fly to Poland, fuck around Poland for a couple days for a wedding, for like my girlfriend, one of her best friend's weddings, and I'm pretty decently, I'm friends with the guy too, and we play on the same soccer team and shit. Then they, as in like the friend group of like 4 girls and their boyfriends and husbands, are going to go to Croatia for like 5 days. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm not going to Croatia.
I'd go to Croatia.
I'm going to Barcelona.
Fuck that, bro.
I'm going to Barcelona to watch soccer. I don't give a fuck. And 2 of the girls were like, yeah, it's all good. I don't know, like, cool, do whatever you want to do. The one girl was kind of like, oh, let's try and make it work. Da, 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 da. And I was just like, oh, I understand I'm being selfish here, and I understand this is simply just for me. I even told Asha, I was like, you can go with them and like have the friends trip. I'm doing this for me because I've wanted to do this for like 15 years. And there's no way I'm not going to Europe and not going to watch Barcelona play soccer. The 2 dudes were like, yeah, man, do you, dog. We really don't give a fuck. The one girl was a little cheese, but like, does that make me an asshole? I'm like fucking up a group outing, taking my girlfriend and I out of it to simply do something for me.
But you're also spending thousands of dollars to go somewhere. So
that's exactly what I said.
So,
aren't you the asshole for making me go to Poland for your fucking wedding?
Oh yeah, that destination weddings are a completely different
dickish
conversation. But yeah.
But no, I don't know. I can understand where you're coming from. But I can also be like, just, do the trip with them, and then when everyone flies home, you stay an extra 3 days in Barcelona.
Already there for 2 weeks, dog.
And that might not
that's 2 weeks is nothing in Europe. That's a minimum in Europe.
I don't understand how all these people get so much time off work. Like,
what work, dog? What do you mean?
Well, okay, yeah, maybe not me, but the other people. And then, dog, I got a mortgage, bro. How do you not work for 3 weeks and then still pay your bills when you live paycheck to paycheck? Explain that one to me.
Vacation pay, bro.
Vacation pay from what job? You just said what job?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what the other people would live off of.
Okay, so then how does a person who gets vacation pay go to their boss and say, yeah, I'm taking 3 weeks
That's
vacation?
why I'm on salary in the winter.
Vast majority of jobs would be like, no.
Yeah.
You get here's
That's what
the
I
days
get.
you get. Unless you've been working there for 20 years, most people have not accumulated 3 weeks of vacation pay.
3 weeks is what you get after 5 years of staying in employment. You are legally, you have to get.
Not if you get
3 weeks.
vacation pay.
Yeah, you do. You get up to 6% from 4%, which is 3
Well, I know,
weeks.
but I'm just saying you don't get the actual 3 weeks. You get the equivalent in cash.
No, it accrues in the bank. It accrues in the account
No,
for
I'm
me
just
at work.
saying
So
it's
you get-
time
you get
versus
weeks
money.
vacation?
Time versus
Yeah,
money.
You get 3 weeks vacation.
In a year, it'll be 4 weeks. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I don't think most
I'm
companies work like
just
that.
So
dog.
just so you know, in Europe, for example, in Germany and many other European countries, you get 4 weeks vacation immediately, like as soon as you start. Like that's your basic. You get 4 weeks. A lot of people.
I
have
don't think a
6
lot of companies are
weeks
like that
after
in
3
Canada.
years. No, not in Canada, because you guys base yourself off the American model where they love a slave population that works 24/7 and builds stuff.
What do you mean,
and
you
has no
guys? You
fucking
live here
vacation.
too.
Huh?
What do you
You
mean,
live
you
here
guys?
too.
You live here too, man.
No, but like, I'm telling you,
Are you-
the
are you-
Canadian government bases itself off of like the American system. That's nothing against you guys. I'm just saying that's politics. Politics is always bullshit. But just like in Europe, everyone, like all those European countries are doing the same thing because they base themselves off what's around them. You guys base yourself off the American system because that's what you're around, right? Like it's easier to sync up with another system that's around you than it is to do something that's happened somewhere else in the world that doesn't match anything around you, right? Like, I get that, but it's just a garbage system. People should have more time.
I
for
don't hear
vacation.
very many people that get 4 weeks vacation.
I'm on salary in the wintertime, which means I'm on call at all times because of snow. In the summertime, we're expected to be available every single day of the week except Sundays.
100% because you have a seasonal job. Of course, they want you to maximize
Yeah, but I'm
your
still
work.
I
and-
don't get layoffs. I'm still employed by the full year. So it's seasonal,
Yeah.
but I'm still fully employed every single
Yeah,
day
100%.
of the
Of course, but their
365 days.
main money making thing is from April to October. Of course, they're gonna want all their employees there during that time because that's when they make the most money, right? Like,
Arguably, yeah.
right? That makes sense, right? That's what they're asking of you, but you're agreeing. They're telling that up front, right? When you get employed, they're like, hey,
Well, I agree by going to work and accepting my paycheck. So
yeah, but like for me, my work, if I haven't taken vacation in 4 years other than a day or 2 days max in a row. If I want to take my full 3 weeks, they can't stop me. Like I'm legally entitled to 3 weeks. I can take them all in a row. There's nothing in my contract that states anything
Sure, they
against
can.
that.
They cannot approve your vacation. They can just say this is not approved.
No.
Yeah, you have
It's-
to.
if
ask
they say if
approval.
it's a
I
dirt-
worked there, dog. I remember when I went to Montreal. I
Yeah,
had
you have to
take
ask
the
for
piece of
approval,
paper.
but then we'll never ever say no unless it's like for sales guys that might be different. Like, people who aren't like on a regular schedule because that's.
So
what
if
they
yours
make
was
their fucking
going
money.
over month end in a busy month, and you think they'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, our new controller was just gone for fucking month end on vacation. If that person can fucking go, there's no way they can stop me.
That's crazy.
Well, like that's what you have legally entitled to. If you have 3 weeks, you should be able to take all those in a row because like for Jocelyn was gone for 6 weeks to the Philippines, like in October. 6 weeks in a row, bro.
That's
Like they don't like they can't stop.
I thought our system sucked, but now you're getting 3 weeks vacation.
Yeah,
off.
how does this person get 6 weeks vacation?
Yeah.
How do you get
Because she
paid?
didn't
on a
take vacation
shitty
for 5
job.
years, so her account's screwed up. She probably takes 12 weeks fucking vacation. It's just a matter of fact of whether the employer wants to give you that much more. But it's usually not a problem if you have a normal employer. Like, it's not a big deal. If you're working rigs and oil shit, yeah, that's different. If you're working seasonal, that's
in the
different.
gray area.
Yeah, bro. But those are that's an expectation of the job when you sign up, essentially, right?
That's why we get the wages we get and everything. Yeah.
Exactly, right? Yeah, but when you're just a regular office employee, you can take that almost anywhere. Like,
Yeah, I've never heard anyone be like, yeah, 3 weeks. I'll take
Unless
a
you're a
3 week
teacher.
vacation in a row.
Unless
That's
you're
no
a
problem.
Phil takes 2 weeks in a row,
Dog,
multiple
he's
times
the-
a year.
He's not regular.
No,
bro.
even when he was the internet sales manager, like he'd
Who's
be gone
that's
for-
still
Is he
not
the
really
GM of
regular,
the?
bro.
Is he the GM of the dealership? This
He's
guy.
more than that now.
Oh well, then you can fucking you don't
Because
even.
he's best friends with EO. That's why it's not regular. That's like Tim. It's not regular because
Yeah,
they're
but
the
it's-
fucking boys club of the boys club, bro. Like, that's not. That's. I'm talking about the average nurse, the average accountant, the average engineer. That's just an employee that's not homies with the guy that owns the dealership and owns 6 like.
or
of
very
course.
high up in the company.
Dude, there was weeks where Phil was in Edmonton and he wasn't there for a week at a time. I'm not saying he wasn't working. I'm sure he still was, but like
Yeah.
that's not the same. Like that's not a regular thing. I just drove the guy. How much do you think that vehicle I drove home was?
EO paid,
140.
I honestly don't even know.
I think $250,000 American for it.
There you go.
Oh,
250K
way off.
American. So like,
Yeah.
so we're gonna say yeah. EO could take 2 months off. Well, yeah, and I just drove his family van that cost $250,000 home.
But that's the thing. That guy actually, I think, works like every time he's on vacation because he's a board member and
because he got
runs
to where
other
he got to.
businesses and stuff. 100%. No, for sure. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I
As a regular
very,
office
very
worker, we
rarely
definitely
hear
take 3
people
weeks.
take like 3-week vacations at a time. Like that shit boggles my mind. You hear like a week, you hear 2 weeks, but 3 weeks straight is fucking crazy to me. In my head, to hear people do that, that's crazy.
There's not a multiverse of where we live now that I could take 3 weeks off in the summer without getting a fucking.
Like, for example, my brother who works in Germany, he took his 4 weeks vacation, and then he took an extra 2 weeks because he worked enough OT prior. He banked that, and so he took 6 weeks off, and he's been here for 6 weeks. He's flying back in like a week or 10 days or something like that.
Well, yeah, like my
That's-
brother's a firefighter, so he can like cover shifts and shit, and like bank a bunch of shifts with people, so he can extend his vacations. But that's also like a different circumstance.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, my brother took his base 4 weeks vacation that he just gets because he's an employee somewhere.
Yeah,
and
like
then added 2 weeks extra with bank
maybe
OT.
I'm
That's
just
6 weeks in a row.
if I like phone my friend
he's in a
who's an
trade.
accountant and I've been like, well, the only one friend I could phone's dad owns the company, so that's not gonna work.
That's not gonna work.
But if you just ask, like, I have a cousin who's like does some sort of accounting for the government of Canada. If I was just like, yeah, could you just take 3 weeks off in a row? And they'd be like, yeah, sure, no problem. I don't think most people would be like, yeah,
They're
man.
government employees. They usually have even better deals than
Oh,
like
for
regular
sure, but the
people that have
more-
unions and shit.
The more integral you are to the day-to-day operations of the company, the less likely they're going to approve anything more than a couple days at a time. Like, I got yesterday off to go to the tournament, and I had to beg for that for the last month, and I still got guilt-tripped because they were supposed to work yesterday, but they ended up going to a second job after we finished Costco on Friday, and I left at 3 o'clock after working 9 hours to catch a ride with the guys, and I was still guilt-tripped to fuck just for one day.
Yeah.
So there's no way you can, in specific industries, that you could get more. You could never get 3 weeks off
100%.
in a row.
Yeah, it shit blew my
Then
mind.
because if they can survive without you for 3 weeks, then maybe you're not as important as they thought or that you thought.
No,
right?
like for in our office, for example, the rest of the office staff has to cover your position for that time that you're off. So, like, for example, me, there's 2 of us that do my position. So if I go on vacation, there's still another person doing it. So they're gonna have to work a little harder during that time. But they don't have to bring somebody in to cover my spot because somebody's already doing it, right? They just have to do more workload. So it's not a big deal. Like, I covered my second person's job for 6 months because they were on medical leave, you know? So, like, I've done my fucking part. Like, shit.
She's your other person?
Megan was
Megan?
Yeah, Megan's
That's
the other
funny.
person. Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, like, if I can cover somebody for 6 months, they should have fucking covered me for 3 weeks.
I mean, what was she doing? Was that a full position?
Yeah, I mean, there was, prior to me
Just
being in that
teasing her
position,
work
there was
ethic.
2
I'm
of
just
them.
saying you were already doing half her job. Is what I'm saying.
Sorry, Megan. These are Fred Papernick's views.
She'll be all right. I'm sure she doesn't watch. She'll be all right. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Also, how many jobs actually give paid vacation and not just a percentage on every? Like, how many jobs actually give you a paid? Like,
Usually any
that
salary
dealership
position.
is damn near the only job where I got paid vacation days. Every other job I've ever had is here's a percentage on every check.
Really?
To the
That's
best,
only ever happened to me as a part-time employee when it's underage. Other than that, every other job I've ever had at banks banks your percentage or whatever that you then use when you
Yeah, man.
were going on vacation.
I mean, there's no way that was happening. I mean, I guess some of my references aren't the best, but like that wasn't happening at Gold Teeth. That wasn't happening in the marijuana
At the radio,
industry.
they paid you out every check.
Wouldn't they have done something? They wouldn't have given you vacation pay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They would have made you accumulate days, and then you would maybe get day and lose or something like that, where you get like a Friday off, but you still get paid for it. That's what they did when I worked at a collections agency. You work a certain amount of hours, and then you just get a Friday off. paid
Collections?
stuff. Oh yeah.
I don't remember, man. You gotta remember, like the radio station was like 10 years ago, but I don't think so. I think it was on every check. I don't think I took a vacation during that time either, though.
But see, that's such a whack system that they pay you out. That means they're encouraging you not to take vacation, which is like terrible for the mental health of an employee.
But I'm saying, dude, that's what the majority of companies are like, bro. Like, I think
Yeah, because like I said,
you
out
have it
here
good
it's-
at that car dealership.
I mean, I had the same system as a fucking part-time valet, man. Like, it's not.
I know certain jobs.
Like my
Function
mom's
as-
my mom has been an office worker her whole life, whether it's payroll, it's benefits, it's like account administration, whatever. She's always had that. It's pretty normal for like a normal like 8 to 4:30, 9 to 5 type of office job to have that sort of system. I guess I don't know. It's just
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's weird to me.
The entertainment industry might be different, like radio and shit.
I don't remember. I mean, I could be wrong. That was a long time ago, but I don't.
And Gold
really
Teeth is Gold
remember.
Teeth, right?
Yeah,
That's
well,
like
yeah,
a
those-
smaller private company, and they just do whatever is most beneficial for them for accounting purposes. It's harder to set up a separate account to track all your money, right? Then just pay you the percentage on your check. That's obviously easier.
All right, let's get out of here or what?
Okay. Well, it's been another episode of 7 Days Makes 1 Week. Thank you very much for joining us. Please like, subscribe, comment. Zach wants everyone to know he's part of the Blood Gang. And yeah, give us some ideas and suggestions if you want. Share this podcast with your friends. And we'll see you all next week.
Peace.
Peace.